Heyo, I'm Crow, and today I'm talking about Pokemon. Pokemon has been a source of joy for a lot of people growing up. Not me, really. I didn't get to experience much of the franchise when I was a kid because my parents deemed it too violent and scary for me to watch. It's the same thing with Power Rangers, it was just too violent. But the horrors that were the Courage of Cowardly Dog show and the Misadventures of Flapjack were fine. They were perfectly okay. It was weird. My introduction to a Pokemon game actually came in middle school when all of us decided to download an emulator and a bootleg version of Fire Red and played the hell out of it in the middle of class until the school found out and wiped our computers and then proceeded to blacklist all of the sites we were getting our EMs from. Rest in peace, my little Charmeleon that I never got to a Charizard. My second real experience came during the Big C in 2020. Sword and Shield, Sword and Shield was coming out, and I liked the show that I could watch, and I liked the idea of the games, so I was like, hey, that's really cool. I want to play that. And then I got a Switch for my lockdown birthday in my sad little dorm room, and I was really excited to play this game, only for my hopes and dreams to be crushed by the fact that Hop wasn't the antagonist. I'm still mad about that. Because, people have talked about these games and how challenging they were and how much fun they were, and I was like, yeah, that's really awesome. And I wasn't bored with Sword and Shield. I had Sword, by the way, if anyone was curious, but it was more just underwhelmed. It holds a special place in my heart. I love this game for all of its crap. It's the first one that I owned myself, the first one I really got to play for myself, but I needed more. I wanted more. And I had a very similar conversation with my now partner, who was just my online best friend at the time, and we both were on the same page about, the fans of this series are growing older, but the games are kind of stagnant in terms of how kid-friendly they are. Kind of, but they got more kid-friendly, because, a lot of the older stories were very... They were a little more mature. There felt like there were stakes. With Sword and Shield, I don't know if I need to go into how little stakes there are in Sword and Shield. Or Scarlet and Violet, to be honest. There's really not a whole lot going on there in terms of stakes. And getting to the gyms was also just straightforward. Follow road, get to gym, beat gym, follow road, get to next gym. That's all it really was. And we wanted a lot more for that. And so was born the first iteration of our comic. We wanted to do something a bit heavier and, plot-wise, something that would really drive the characters to do something more than want to be champion. So, our main characters, which are being drawn up on the screen right here, lovely, wonderful, and I'll talk about them more in depth later. They've always been our main characters, and in this alpha version of the comic, we had them set in Galar still, because we really liked the wild areas of the setting. But we really, really, really quickly axed this version of Galar in favor of doing our own region. But, the question to that becomes, where? Where are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I don't know, because it's fun. So many people have done their own fan regions, at least in concept. For 3 months, I did nothing but watch Subjectively's Maza region videos, and that gave us a lot of insight on what actually needed to be done to make this new region. So, after much debate and talking about it, we eventually settled on 2 countries. Yes, 2. Russia, for a lot of its physical and locational aspects, a lot of the tundra and the woods and the mountains and the geysers. I like that. And Ukraine for the socioeconomic side of things and a lot of the people work that I needed to do. Keep in mind, this was 2021, 22-ish, directly before the war kind of picked up, and we had already done a lot of research and had built a lot of this from the ground up, so we were really reluctant to even consider the thought of changing the region. And it sounded bad, and then we're like, nah, we can make this work. We did change stuff in terms of spoilers that I can't say yet because spoilers, but we didn't really change all that much in regards to the actual region. And after deciding on our physical country and our real world, now we had to name it. And as it will become very evident, we are not good at naming things. Yeah, names are hard, guys. We did notice a trend with the current region names, and we kind of wanted to avoid that. The countries of inspiration and, the languages specifically, they all sound... I don't know how to... It's not gentler or softer, but in my head they're circles, And we chose Russia and Ukraine, which the languages are squares to my brain. Japanese, French, and Spanish, that all has round to it, and these languages don't. We also wanted to drop the 2-3 syllable name thing for much of the same reason. A lot of Spanish words and French words that are similar, they have similar syllables to them, and the Slavic and Cyrillic languages have far, far different syllables alone to themselves. So we took all of this information, took everything into our gross little hands, and with that, when we came up with something that I hope represents the languages in our real life while still being Pokemon, Kobaskovic. We came up with Kobaskovic. And I feel like it's really far off, but also extremely perfect for what it is. And I wanted these syllables to, feel Russian or Ukrainian, but we wanted the syllables to really feel this different compared to the other preset regions. So that's the name. I have this lovely messy map, and I need to redo it. But I like this one for what it is at the moment. It kind of shows all the cities and all the everything. I have all the little regions marked off. Not called regions because every country's a region. I have to fix that. And these little green ones are just the ones that are the wild areas. No humans, and it's also completely unsafe to travel alone in. We also decided that it's all going to be double battles. I don't remember what the justification for these it's just double battles, alright? So there are 10, technically 11, gyms, with 2 gym leaders of different types and complementary teams. So, that's a lot of damn characters that we have to draw now. It's fine. It's fine. It's all in the name of the development. So, double tournament over a very large region with a lot of highly wild and dangerous Pokemon that are just kind of crammed into these places. Which means we had to consider the children. We had to think about the kids, guys. Alright, listen. Children are prevented fully from participating in this actual event. They can technically have a Pokemon and ride around on the trains from city to city safely, but it's honorary. Kind of actually how they did it with Paldea, in that the title is flimsy and it can go to everyone. So all of the cast are full-grown adults and are very aware how quickly the region can simply remove them from the earthly plane and how painful it is. The other major change to our region and the main characters and the cast surrounding them is that almost everyone's from a completely different region. It's a worldwide advertisement of a challenge of power and tenacity, and the current champion of the region serves as a diplomatic voice, as well as kind of think like the general, because it's supposed to be 2 people that take up these responsibilities and split them how they see fit. But there's only 1 champion at the moment, and they'll get their own video. I love them dearly. They are my will baby, and they need a proper spotlight. So I will go into more depth about the actual champion and the chair and how that works when I get to them. And once I get all these human characters out of their way, I'll shift the videos onto the actual Fakemon, which everyone likes the Fakemon, right? Despite needing not to, I am building the whole Pokédex. All of it's getting filled. We got Fakemon, we got the regionals. They're starters. Don't need them. I don't need them for the comic, but there are starters. Even though I might be changing one of them a little bit before I actually make that video. But there's a lot of themes at play here. Evolution's obviously one that's technically, what the project's called, but personal growth is huge, and as well as human intervention, the good and the bad parts of it. A lot of balance, growth, nature, human-made, 2 sides of the same coin. It's going to be dark, it's going to be angsty and edgy, and I'm finally getting to talk about it in its entirety, and I'm so excited. And now, back to the characters that have been drawn this whole time. Zylas and Ebel. Zylas is my little emo twunk on the left, and Ebel is the baddie on the right, with 2 very familiar Pokemon to complement them. They do not get homebrewed Pokemon. Not yet. Zylas is native to the region, and he grew up on a farm really far north in the cold section. I guess we can call it the tail of the puppy. I keep getting told that the map is just a dog, so he lives in the tail. His family mostly supplied their area with meat. They breed ewe cattle, Fakemon, and Piloswine, non-Fakemon, while also tending to like various crops that can grow in the cold. Their farm is set up kind of like right next to a wild area, which essentially means that there's no people past that point. They're kind of like the last gate before you just walk into the woods and never get seen again. So, knowing this, with the power of firearms, what do you do what you gotta do. Zylas isn't exactly fond of Pokemon. He kind of just sees them as animals, a means to eat, a work. This is his job. He didn't really ask for this, but that's all they really are to him. And freshly 18, he enters this event with no prep. He did this very last second. He was kind of stuck, bored. Nothing was really calling out to him. But using the money to enter and get essentially a free ride around the country to try to figure out what he wants to do with his life kind of sounded better than sitting there and rotting. Ebel, on the other hand, she's my partner's character that she designed, and she's gained quite a few jokes along the way. As I said, when we originally had this set for Galar, she was kind of Y. She's kind of the uncanon middle sibling of Piers and Marnie, so, cue all the forgotten middle sibling jokes as you will. So she came to Kobaskovic in search of a real challenge. She didn't like the sports-like atmosphere that Pokemon battles had in Galar. Thought it was too tame, but the idea of just walking around a very scary region for days upon days sounded cool, and enough of a threat to her life that it sounded actually interesting. She does have a Poochyena here. His name is Fen. Fen's a big boy. He's a very big boy. I'm aware that Poochyena is not from Galar. It will be discussed. Trust that we have reasons for all of the things that these characters do. Most of her Pokemon are literally picked up out of the trash. Like her Zigzagoon, found in the trash. Like one of her homebrew Pokemon, found in the trash. We'll get to there. I love him. But she feels like they deserve a lot better of a life than chewing on scraps and trying to survive. And she loves her partner Pokemon a lot. And it's people that kind of have the bad rap to her. So, very, very juxtaposed against each other. Putting these two characters together for a weeks-long tournament, unable to get out of fear of being disqualified. That sounds perfect, right? It'll totally be smooth sailing. It'll totally be fine. They do have, actual direct rivals besides each other, and they'll be covered next. Their names are Vivian and Blaze, if that gives you any hint. I don't know. They're designed to be full opposites from them in terms of personality, style. Their team structure is fully meant to counter Ebel and Zylas individually and together. They're supposed to be able to work together much better than these two are because they are dysfunctional as shit. Hopefully, I'll be able to actually, boast more than once a year. But this is to really get the ball rolling. We're so close to finishing up everything with the story and the outline, and that we're ready to get this show on the fucking road. Once we get to the actual Fakemon, there will be a lot more interest, I'm sure. Oh, yeah, so OBS kind of shot itself in the foot and deleted half my footage, so here's the actual finished picture. The rest of the coloring kind of didn't happen on camera because, again, OBS just hates me. Normal technical difficulties, I'm sure. Anyway, that's all for this video and today. Leave any questions in the comments, and I will answer them to the best of my ability without giving you spoilers yet. I am probably also going to post this elsewhere, so I hope you're ready to explore this very crazy, harsh tundra that we've made with us, and I will see you next time.